Namaste and hi friends, it's Parvati here with Visionary Veda, bringing you your Vedic Astrology New Moon Solar Eclipse report for this December 3rd and 4th, 2021. In this report, I'm going to go over in detail the energies at play for this solar eclipse, the last solar eclipse of the year, as well as the other planetary energies lending to the first few weeks of December 2021. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, if you are new to my channel, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, please understand that this is a Vedic astrology report, and in Vedic astrology, we use the sidereal zodiac. So the sidereal zodiac is a more accurate representation of where the planets actually are in the sky. It's more accurate with the planets and the constellations. It depicts exactly where the planets are transiting. Also in Vedic astrology, we use what is known as the 27 nakshatras. The nakshatras are the fixed stars in the sky, which are directly tied to the sidereal constellations. Okay, so everything, the energies of the constellation as well as the energies of the nakshatra gives us a deeper layer, a deeper insight into the particulars of the energies at play. So for this new moon solar eclipse, it is occurring in the sidereal sign of Scorpio in the nakshatra of Jyeshta. Now, Jyeshta Nakshatra is the last nakshatra in the sign of Scorpio, in the second water sign in the zodiac, before the Gandanta point or before the fire sign of Sagittarius starts. All right, it is lorded, its planetary lord is the planet Mercury, and its deity is the Lord Indra, who is the king of the gods. Jeshtha means the eldest, or the one who has the most authority. In India, the eldest son is regarded as the person with the most authority, or the eldest, our elders. We give great respect to our elders. We humble ourselves in front of our elders. We respect and we see them as knowledgeable, and we look to them for guidance. So this is where this eclipse is going to be happening. The solar eclipse is a coming together of the sun and the moon. This eclipse is, and one of the nodes. So in this eclipse, we have the south node Ketu that's going to be causing it. So we have sun in Jeshtha, moon in Jeshtha, and we also will have Mercury, the planetary lord of Jyeshta, involved in this eclipse, as well as the graha of Ketu. Now, Ketu is a co-lord, along with the planet Mars, is considered to be the co-lord of Scorpio. Now, what are the energies of Ketu? Well, and what are the energies of Scorpio? So, Scorpio is known to be the sign of change and transformation, transformative energy. Usually when one is going through a transformation, they are not doing it out in the open. They go into their cocoons. You know, the insects go into their cocoons. They go into a place of seclusion, a place of quietude, right? And then the transformation occurs. Transformation is also not a very feel-good type of energy. It can, we can go through quote-unquote growing pains as we're transforming. So Scorpio is known as the sign of transformation. It's also things that are hidden, things that are underground, beneath the surface. So secrets, or sometimes it's also seen as things that are being withheld from us. It can also be seen as those in power, the sun, manipulating and putting their agendas forward as a means of protection, right? If you look at the sign of Scorpio, Scorpio has a hard shell. It's on the defensive. It's guarding its vulnerability. So whenever you feel fear, or anybody feels fear and decides to be reactive and put things into place, I'm shaking my computer, put things into place to guard against being attacked or against having their vulnerability exposed, it's akin to the energies of Scorpio. Now, Ketu denotes things that come from the past, okay? So the way we've reacted in the past can come up again. It's a repetitive sort of energy. It's showing karmic imprints, karmic ways, or habitual ways of doing things, okay? Ketu can also denote not only past life karmas that are being brought into the present, but ancestral karmas, things that we've been imprinted with, epigenetic sort of energies that are in our unconscious, subconscious samskaras, imprinted upon us, which we're not aware of and we're reacting to blindly out of habit. Now, these kinds of things can happen again, and they can come up for us to be able to finally become aware of what it is that's operating within us that we haven't been aware of, or we've been blindly reacting to as an unconscious or unaware sort of protection mechanism. Because to be vulnerable is very scary. And Scorpio really protects against and guards against vulnerability. That's why it's got the shell and also the poison. All right. Now, this poison is very important because Jyeshta Nakshatra, if you are a stargazer, is the star Antares. It's the heart of the scorpion. If you're a stargazer, you see the sign of Scorpio. It's a huge, beautiful constellation in the sky. And you'll see this one red star in the center. Antares is a huge sun. I don't even know how many times bigger than our sun Antares is. And it's a very large solar structure, complex system. So it denotes this change, but it can be done in a very uncomfortable way. Some people also liken the star of Antares to the planet Mars, which is a co-ruler of Scorpio with the graha Ketu, okay? So it's a very warlike kind of energy, right? Intense energy, but it's not out in the open. Like I said before, it's sort of hidden beneath the view, not beneath the surface, not in full view. It could be the place where strategies are devised. Okay? Now the sun, as well as Jeshtha, right? The elder, the king, the sun, the kings as well, the leaders, our forefathers, Ketu, our father, sun, those of us that we look up to, those of us that we give our power to or we think have more power over us. During this eclipse, their vulnerabilities can be shown, okay? Because the sign of Scorpio is also the debilitation sign of the moon. So the moon is dark for this eclipse, right? It's a new moon, so there's no light coming to it. So things can't be processed as we normally are able to process. Things that come up for us to be seen can be somewhat disturbing to the mind. the mind may not be able to take it in. The mind may not be able to see it clearly. The mind might be disturbed by what it sees. But what's important to remember here, that what is brought up is meant to liberate us. It's meant for us to take our power back. It's meant to liberate us. Ketu is the great liberator. And Ketu is the south node of the moon, which is causing this eclipse. So in many ways, the powers that be, or those in authority, in order to guard against whatever it feels threatened by, real or unreal, will try to put in more control, more measures of control. Scorpio tries to guard itself by being in control of a situation it fears. So just be aware of these energies at play. On a larger scale, maybe there might not be things that we can do about it immediately, but we will see throughout the following few days, or many days, few weeks I should say, we will be able to, as the moon waxes, get better insights into how we can move forward, okay? So if you have any big plans, just hold tight. Don't make any big decisions. Try not to travel. Try to just stay still and clear and centered, because this eclipse can throw us into fear, into paranoia, and into reactivity that might not be helpful for us. Okay? The day after the eclipse, Mars is going to move from Libra into the sign of Scorpio, which it rules. And on the 15th, it's going to conjoin Ketu. Now, Mars and Ketu both rule the sign of Scorpio, okay? And they both have very similar energy, very fiery, intense energy. Ketu is known as the higher octave of Mars. So, whereas Mars is red, right? The color red. Ketu is not ultraviolet, or what's the color? Infrared. It's infrared. It's like a more subtle, otherworldly energy of Mars. Whereas Mars is Agni, fire. Ketu is like white lightning. Okay, it's like really intense, like blindingly hot. So these two energies coming together on the 15th of December can be very, very powerful, and we should be aware of it. We should be cautious these next few weeks. Anyway, the solar eclipse energy lasts for 10 days. On the 15th, now if you've been following my channel, you've heard me talk many times about this point between Scorpio and Sagittarius, right? Between the water sign, the intense water sign Scorpio, and then the fiery sign of Sagittarius, and it's called the Gandanta point, the last degree of Jeshtha and the first degree of Mula Nakshatra. This point is a very volatile point, okay? And when planets transit this point, it can indicate upheaval. On the 15th, the very day that Mars and Ketu are conjoining, the Sun is going to be transiting through this Gandanta point. The Sun, again, our leadership, our authority, okay? So be aware, things might happen. Things might also happen in the natural, like as far as natural calamities. It can indicate the water and the fire coming together. It can indicate floods or volcanic eruptions and those kinds of things as well. It's something to be aware of, especially with Mars and Ketu conjoining on that same day. On Also, Jyeshta Nakshatra, it's also said to contain the poison of the scorpion's tail, right? So things around poison, medicine, fear, control, all these kinds of things we can see coming into play around this eclipse time. Now, the eclipse is going to happen in Antarctica, but it's also going to be visible on the tip of South America, South Africa, the tip of South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, the bottom of the world, right? Already we've seen what's been happening with, what's been coming out of South Africa right now. So remember, there could be a chance of the authorities and the leadership reacting, trying to clamp down, trying to put more restrictions, more control. Then also on December the 8th, so December the 3rd, 4th, tonight is the solar eclipse. Then December the 5th, Mars moves into Scorpio. So it's really, really going to be intense, right? And on December the 8th, Venus transits into the sign of Capricorn to where Saturn sits. Now, luckily, Saturn and Venus are on friendly terms, but still, it puts a kind of a heavy energy, almost like a burden, onto Venus. So this can indicate problems in relationships, finances, things having to do with vehicles. It can really dampen the Venusian energy of feeling good, okay, of relating, of expressing oneself. It can get very serious and very kind of sterile, okay, very not so much intense, but a little bit depressing. And so you can see the markets perhaps going down. They've already started to go down. The stock market and such has already started to drop. You can see people panicking. So my best advice for this eclipse is to not feed the fears, okay? To try and stay as centered and grounded as possible, and try to remain open and allow that which is being revealed. Try to see through all of the confusion. Try to maintain some clarity. One of the ways to do this is in my last video, where I went over the energies of the lunar eclipse. I shared with you all a very beautiful mantra. If you already do mantra practice or any kind of spiritual practice, continue, of course. Try to stay centered to be able to be like sort of the eye of the storm, when all of this chaos and confusion is going on around us. Again, the mind is going to be dark because the moon is dark and debilitated. So just try not to react. And one of the ways that helps to keep me balanced, one of the mantras that I use, or mantras that I use, is the one that I shared in my last video. And I'm going to share it again here because it's a really beautiful mantra. And it's just calling in the light, right? It's calling in this connecting to the divine higher forces, the higher energies, and grounding into the light. So this is how it goes. Om asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mṛtyormā'mṛtaṃ gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And its translation is Om please bring us asato ma sadgamaya, from the unreal to the real, or from the untruth to the truth, sat, the truth. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, from ignorance to illumination, from darkness to the light. Mṛtyormā'mṛtaṃ gamaya, from death to immortality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, I'm going to repeat it one more time. You can feel free to say it with me. Om asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mṛtyormā'mṛtaṃ gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And I would like to leave you with this beautiful mantra. I hope you use it and gain benefit from it. If you are doing any kind of spiritual practice during this eclipse, it's said to not consume any food or drink during the eclipse window. And if you are awake during this eclipse time, to fast during the hours of the eclipse. After the eclipse, take a shower, recite the mantra, and then begin. Okay? So I hope that's been helpful. I'm wishing everybody a very insightful eclipse. Allow that which has been under the surface to show itself. Because even though it might be difficult for us, right, or disturbing for us, it's better to see and deal with what's real instead of keeping our eyes closed and giving our power or our authority away to others that are outside of us. You have to remember that those people are only just people as well. They're not infallible. Okay, so it's a great time to reclaim our power. But first we will learn a lesson, and then we'll be like, okay, now we need to bring it back to ourselves. So, all right, my friends, I hope that's been helpful. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, share this video so other people can also get benefit of this ancient wisdom of Vedic astrology, or Jyotish, the science of light. Enjoy the life, my friends, and I will see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.